You think we're going to punt it on first down?
By the way, just quick point of order. At first, I thought he meant, for a second, I thought he meant that they were stealing signals or signs, but he's not saying that. It's just off tendencies that they're calling out it's a run or it's a pass.
Skip, they're running the ball 60+% of the time on first down.
64%.
So if I come out there and line up on first down, what the hell you think I think you're going to do? And when also, where you throw the football, you're not throwing the ball outside the numbers. So what the hell you think I'm going to do? I'm going to pack the middle. Lamar, it's not that hard. Lamar, until you progress as a passer, this is what you're going to get. It's called evolution. And the really great ones evolve. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. If you want to be successful, you say you want to be one of these guys that lead a team, you're not leading a team to the Super Bowl on your legs. You're going to have to become more proficient at throwing the football. It's as simple as that. But don't make excuses, Lamar. Because when things were going well, I can assure you, they were saying the same thing last year, Skip, but you just beat them to the punch. You were just better. But now team says, I refuse to let Lamar Jackson run for 130, 110, 98 yards in a ball game. I'm going to make him throw the ball to beat us. And it's becoming more difficult because you haven't taken that next step of throwing the football. Don't put this on Greg Roman. Greg Roman has done a great job. Don't do this, Lamar, because it seems to me, Skip, from where I'm sitting, is that he's making excuses for why he hasn't had the success this year like he had it last year. Anybody, and I tell people this all the time, anybody can go to the Pro Bowl, anybody can go to make an all-pro team. You want to be good? Do what Peyton and Brady and all those other guys do it year after year after year after game after game. That's what will impress me.
Okay. I will echo your sentiments. I was extremely disappointed and frankly shocked at these comments from that man. This is the reigning MVP.
Yes.
I've said many times on the show, I think that young man, still very young man, has high football character that was not on display in this interview yesterday. You don't need to say that. It comes across as a shot at Greg Roman, your coordinator. Like, we're so predictable. You know, it's not. Don't look at me.
I don't know, Skip. You've been around it longer than I have. I only played 14 years, but you covered it for 40. You ever heard a former MVP say something like this?
No, not the next year. and by the way, it's not a disastrous year. They're 6-2. And he is coming off his best half of the year. That's why this shocked me yesterday. In the second half, Greg Roman did him a favor. Greg Roman said, at Indy, against a very good up-and-coming football team, good defensive football team. They're down 10-7 at half, and Greg Roman threw his hands up and said, Lamar, go. And he let him run fast break. He let him run no huddle. What do you have to do in that circumstance? You have to relinquish a lot of the play calls to your quarterback. And Lamar responded by going 10 of 10, throwing the football for 119 yards. That's decent. Okay. He also ran it 9 times for 43. That was almost 5 yards a carry. And he scored a touchdown running. They won the second half 17-0 after being down 10-7 at halftime. That's the first time in Lamar's career that he has brought a team back trailing after trailing at halftime. He was 0-6 when they trailed at halftime, including the 2 playoff games. Okay, what's not to like about that? That was a really good win.
And why now?
Okay, I don't know.
If you're losing, okay, I'm still going to believe you're trying to make excuses. But, Skip, you won the game.
Okay. And also, if I look big picture at the stats through 8 games last year versus this year, okay, last year he was completing 64% of his passes through 8 games. He's 63% now. Okay, that's okay. Last year, he was 12 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. This year, he's 12 to 4. Okay, that's fine. You're still right in the same ballpark. Except your offense is still leading the league in rushing, but not the way it was last year.
Not those explosive plays, not those chunk touchdowns. Skip, it seemed like every week we watched him throwing the ball deep to Hollywood Brown. We saw him breaking off a 50-yard touchdown run. We saw Mark Ingram running up and down the field. Gus Edwards running up and down the field.
Through 8 games last year, he was averaging 80 yards rushing a game, and now he's down to 59. As you point out, the defenses, they had a whole offseason to say, you know what? We just can't let him out. We've got to make sure that we don't let him loose. Okay? So he's having a harder time. They still lead the league in rushing. with 170 yards a game, but last year they were averaging 206. So they were lethal. They led the league last year in points scored, and now they've plummeted down to, I think they're 20th or 19th. Yeah.
They're like 24. They was like 30. They was in the 30s last year.
Yeah.
Now they're like a full touchdown, maybe even 8, 9 points less than where they were last year.
Okay, and you brought up that first down stat. They have the second most first down carries, but in yards per carry, they rank 23rd in the league.
The Zeke stat.
That's the Zeke. It's exactly the Zeke stat that killed me last year.
So guess what,
where you're handing it to them, but this team's just run on first down, and you know what they're doing on defense is a run.
Right. Because that's what you do 60% of the time on first down.
Formations. You just see the formation, and they know that they have studied you, that they know you don't ever throw out of that formation.
Thank you. And guess what, Skip? So if I stop you on first down, or so you get no yards, or you get 2 yards, it's saying, knowing you, they're going to run it again. So guess what? I'm going to stack up. You're not going to throw the ball until third down.
Okay. So their run-pass ratio is about the same as it was last year. They just run a whole lot more plays last year than this year.
Correct.
Because they were possessing the ball longer, in part because they didn't turn it over as much.
Right.
And they were better on third down last year than they are this year.
Right.
But it's still not a disaster.
Right.
It's not time to take a shot at the offensive coordinator.
6-2, not 2-6.
Okay. Well, is it a little bit of what I've asked Michael Vick about when we've had him on the show, that Michael Vick experience syndrome in Atlanta, where you're trying to live up to the hype? You know,
right.
I'm Madden. I'm on the cover of Madden. I got to live up.
Right.
I need numbers. No, you just need to figure out how to win games.
Right, and we don't see as many of those top 10 highlight plays like we saw last year. The spin cycle and him diving over the top, Skip. There's none of that. That's okay. You're winning. Your job is to win games, not to make highlights. Now, if you make highlights in the process of winning, so be it.
Yeah.
But, Lamar, you're going to have to advance at throwing the football.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Well, I picked the Baltimore Ravens to win it all this year in large part because of that quarterback. And I thought yesterday was a bad look for him and a bad sign going forward for the Ravens. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I didn't like that, Skip.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Are Kevin Durant and